This episode of the Deep Thinkers podcast is brought to you by Crandall Pest Control. Crandall Pest Control has been family owned and operated in the state of Arizona since they were founded in 2002. Their main deals are termites, scorpions, and general pest control, but they can do pretty much anything you need them to. Their phone number is 480-360-4999, or you can reach out to them online at crandallpest.com. If you mention the Deep Thinkers podcast, you will get $30 off your first treatment. Again, that's crandallpest.com or 480-360-4999. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Maracaba Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Andre Maracaba has been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 24 years. He's from Brazil originally. He moved to Arizona 7 years ago and has been coaching at Power MMA until it recently shut its doors. Andre is an excellent coach and a great human. I highly recommend anybody who wants to get involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to reach out to him. His last name is spelled Maracaba, and he's on Facebook. You can either reach out to him personally or like his Maracaba BJJ group. 2017 was a very good year for Andre's team. It was the first time he ever took the state championship in both the kids and adults. So he's who I train with, and he's my instructor. He's my friend, and he is an excellent coach and an excellent human. If you have kids, Andre is an excellent kids coach. He's also great with adults. If you're looking for a new gym, if you're experienced, it's great to come. If you're totally rookie, totally green, have never done jiu-jitsu before, that's fine too. Pretty much my case, I had a little bit of experience with it, but not for 20 years, and definitely not enough that I could call on and have not enough to give me a head start in anything. But I'm loving it. Andre's a great coach. And this episode of this podcast is brought to you by Maracaba BJJ. Hello, planet Earth. This episode of the Deep Thinkers podcast is brought to you by Bright Island Outreach. Bright Island Outreach is a group of dental professionals that goes down to the Dominican Republic multiple times a year. They take young students, dental students from the United States, as well as dental students from the Dominican, and they all go down and they teach people how to take care of their teeth. People who can't afford to do it, people who can't afford to actually go to dentists, they go into some of the more impoverished areas, and they teach people how to take care of their teeth, and they do teeth extractions, and they do root canals and fillings and cosmetics. There's a lot of different ways you can help out. You can go online at brightislandoutreach.org, and you can buy a t-shirt. I wear mine all the time. They've got really cool prints, really soft cotton. They feel great. I always get compliments on it. People ask me what it's all about, and I tell them. You can donate, or if you feel like you really want to get involved, you can actually go with them and check it out and help them out. They're always looking for volunteers. So, but whatever you do, go online to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and check them out there, give them a follow, and help them out with that online presence. Thank you very much. This episode of the Deep Thinkers podcast is brought to you by Element Stoneworks. Element Stoneworks is a custom granite company. So if you own a home and you would like to put some nice granite countertops in your kitchen or your bathroom, these are your people. If you have a business and you want that nice, posh look of granite in your business for your desks or any surfaces that you have, if you want to replace that old laminate, then give them a call. There are two phone numbers you can reach them at, 602-930-8740 or 480-290-1879. Or you can reach out to them on Facebook. Element Stoneworks is insured, and they will take good care of you. They can get you a quick quote, and they will do a professional job. They do all their own installs. They do all their own fabricating. So give them a call and check out their work. They will give you a fair deal, and they are professional, and they get the job done quickly. Also, mention the Deep Thinkers podcast and get $50 off your installation.
Hello, planet Earth. This is not a drill. I am here today with the John Pfeiffer. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. John is a power lineman, but he's also spent time as a rodeo clown. He's one of my Jiu-Jitsu brothers. How long you been doing Jiu-Jitsu, buddy?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably pretty close to 6 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you take a little break there for a while?
Yeah, I right after I got my blue belt, I hurt my elbow pretty good. Took about a year and a half off.
How'd you hurt it?
Grappling.
Well, I assumed.
My ego got the best of me. I was defending a Kimura, probably a lot farther than I should have, instead of just tapping and training more. And I went to roll out of it, and my opponent at the same time rolled with me and transitioned into an arm bar, and gravity took effect, and it went pop, 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 pop. And my elbow was shot for a long time.
Oh man, is it a complete recovery or?
I think so. I didn't have surgery at the time. I couldn't afford to take time off of work and whatnot, so I just suck it up and suffer.
Yeah.
But eventually, with a lot of help from resistance bands, and I got my range of motion back to probably 90%, 95%.
Nice.
It's not the same, but it's good to go.
Those elbow injuries are tough, man. Like when I just started for like the first, really up until about 2 months ago, my elbows were killing at night, like all the time, and I was just like, shit, man, I'm not gonna quit, just because of pain, but yeah, it was real. Even now, like when I roll with someone new, like there's people you can roll with that you just trust,
right?
Like I know when I roll with you, I'm gonna get my ass kicked hard, but I also know that you're not gonna hurt me because you take a lot of precaution not to hurt people. And when you're rolling with someone new, you don't think that they want to hurt you, but you just don't know how they spaz. You don't know what their tendencies are. You don't know how they move. And honestly, with new people, like they think spazzing is going to help them get out of a move, but really spazzing can get people hurt.
Right, for sure.
So I'll just be like, hey, if you're going to sink anything on these elbows, go slow and I'll tap early.
Yeah,
I'm not going to fight you.
Don't rip my arm off and take it home with you.
Exactly.
In practice.
Exactly.
Bro.
Exactly. So, yeah, man. 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Were you always at Power MMA?
Yep. Well, I did some MMA stuff before transitioning into actual gi jiu-jitsu, traditional jiu-jitsu. So when I worked out at a place called The Pit with Eddie and a couple other guys from our gym.
Right.
And
what's Eddie's last name again?
Betros.
Dude, that guy's a freak.
He's a beast.
That dude's a badass.
He's awesome.
Yeah, Eddie's cool.
And our whole gym moved, and we all came to Power at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we started with the no gi, and then eventually I got into the gi and kind of fell in love with the technicality of it.
That's cool.
So
I didn't know you started no gi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I knew you did no gi now, but I didn't know that's how you started out with
at
it.
Power, the first couple, months I was there, I just did the no gi.
Just all no gi. Yeah.
That was back when like the no gi class was bigger than the gi class.
Yeah, I heard.
Crazy.
I heard he did no gi first,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone would leave, and so he switched him up, and then the no gi. There's times when no gi was like 5 people, bro.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I did it for a little while there in the beginning, and it was just my cardio wasn't there yet, and there was a couple of times where I just ran off the mats and into the bathroom, fully expecting to. One time I did, and the other time I didn't.
Hey, that's cool, man.
No, dude, this first time I did it, like I'm coming back into the, like hitting the walls as I'm running back into the locker room, just like trying not to puke everywhere. And like, there's like 5 or 6 guys in there still. They're like, "Oh, Jesse, you okay? What's going on? A little rough out there?" And I'm just like, you know, like, oh,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, it's definitely a challenge, man. It's jiu-jitsu is one of the most rewarding things I've done in my life. So, yeah, man, like when you start grappling and going back and forth and sweeping and submitting people that normally you wouldn't have any business grappling or submitting or sweeping, it's addicting, man. Like that first time you catch somebody, you're just like, "Oh my gosh, the technique worked."
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like, so the first time I tapped somebody actually wasn't from a submission or a choke. It was just from pressure.
Knee up belly.
No, not even that. I was in side mount, just putting all my weight on him.
Smothering him.
Yeah. So, but I was still proud of myself, like I did
Hey,
something. But yeah, that was like 3 or 4 weeks into it, man. Like for 3 or 4 weeks, I didn't get anything, dude. I was just
that's
getting
normal.
pummeled. But yeah, that's just it, you know. So I don't know if I explained this to people when I first did the intro, but you're a power lineman.
I am.
So you play with mad amounts of electricity every day.
Daily.
Yeah, and so anytime someone's alarm goes off at 6 a.m., by the time they turn their light switch on at 6:01, they can thank you and all your colleagues. Thousands
I don't know
of
if
them.
I'd get that crazy. I guess you could go on that path. Electricity just doesn't come out from your wall. A lot
Right.
of people think you turn on the switch and that's where it comes from. There's a little more to it than that.
A little bit.
Not a whole lot.
A little
more,
bit. I mean, obviously not rocket science.
Not at
No.
all.
Now you apprenticed with a guy in my neighborhood, Billy Wright.
Yeah, he was. Well, he wasn't an apprentice. I was an apprentice. He was
Right. You were his
boss,
apprentice.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy named John Golightly that is a good friend of mine. His sons are all friends of mine, and he was Billy's baseball coach through the years growing up. Another guy, Tate Gunning, came on my podcast, and we talk about John for a little while. And he's actually, after hearing that podcast, he's going to come on here and tell about John Golightly grew the 4th largest amount of cannabis ever grown on U.S. soil in American history. Got caught and didn't do a day in jail.
My man.
Yeah, and he's from this neighborhood. Yeah, John is a badass. I cannot wait to have him on this podcast because there's everybody that grew up in that area of Mesa is going to be like, "Oh, I cannot wait to get all these stories from the horse's mouth." So hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get him on the podcast. And I would love to have Billy on here too. But so you train apprentices, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what can you expect when you're a brand new lineman coming into John Pfeiffer's program other than getting your beard grabbed when you're getting spoken to?
I don't know. I think they all are warned about me before they come, so I'm pretty hard on them. You know?
Well, if people are friendly to them and they meet them before they meet you and they know they're going to meet you, that would be a good thing to warn them about you, I'd say.
Yeah. I don't know. I have high expectations. I don't know. I can be intense, I guess. I expect them to do their job.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's an important job.
But with that being said, I'm more than willing to teach them to do their job by example. You know, I believe in leading by example and showing by example.
Right. And the problem is with linemen is if you make a mistake, the consequences are dire.
Yeah, I mean, that's no lie. Pretty much anything we do, you know, any day, whatever task we do, you know, if we have our head in our ass, we could get seriously injured or get
injure somebody else, yeah.
Injured or killed, you know. So there is definitely that weight. You know, that's just the reality of our JOB, man. It could be as dangerous or as not dangerous as we make it by doing things in a certain sequence. For sure.
My friends have all wanted me to go out on the line, and I'm like, guys, I'm a bull in a china shop, man. I am too accident prone. Like, it would be a fun job. It would be amazing. But I would be concerned about getting hurt or getting someone else hurt if it were me out there pulling wire.
Yeah, I think everybody's like that too. You know, you just learn what to do and how to do it, and you evolve as you know, get years out in the field. Yeah. You know, to finding the easiest, best, safest way that's effective for your skill set, and you know, or if you're running a crew for your guy's skill set, that's the name of the game, man. Is planning it so we're in a win-win situation. Plan to our strengths, never to our weaknesses. Yeah. And do work, man.
For sure. So what was it like? How old were you when you started the apprenticeship program?
22.
Okay, so you were greenhorn, bro.
Yeah, man.
Young. Okay, where'd they send you to?
Oh man, let's see, Sierra Vista was the first place I went. I got told to look for a guy that looked like Santa Claus in the Flying J parking lot.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, dude. Love me the Flying J, dog.
Me too, man.
Oh man, dude. Yeah. No, yeah, dude, I had a job once where I traveled across the United States, and I would just basically we'd fill up the back of our cars with computers, and we'd drive from Kroger to Kroger or Albertsons to Albertsons, and install all the music players.
Oh,
and,
cool.
This is before Quick Trip, bro. Especially like on the East Coast and stuff. Flying J is your buddy. You know, you can take a shower in there. You know, you can buy any type of low maintenance vehicle tool that you would need. You know, like you're gonna get serious stuff in there, but like, yeah. And of course, the lot lizards, ever present at the Flying J.
Always present, always working.
Working hard, you know. Got to earn that money.
That's right.
So, but yeah, dude. So you met a guy in the Flying J parking lot that looked like Santa.
Yeah, and he really looked like Santa.
Yeah, white beard.
White beard, big old fat belly. And that was my foreman, and here we went.
Nice, dude. Nice. How long were you there?
Ooh, I don't know. I was all over southeastern Arizona for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Tombstone, Dragoon, Sierra Vista, Benson, a little bit of Bisbee.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
all
blah.
the hot spots, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's crazy. Once that line is done, you just move on to a new place,
yeah,
right?
just move on to the next job, wherever it may be.
And that's usually, most of the time, aren't you replacing old lines rather than running new ones?
No, both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times when you work in construction, you do a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, maybe depending on what's going on in the world, you know, distribution, building houses, housing market's booming.
Yeah.
Or, you know, on the political thing, reinforcing or rebuilding some of the transmission grid, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, the whole world's connected to everything. It's amazing how everything trickles down to, you know, you wouldn't think that the housing market crash would mean a slowdown of building power lines, but it sure did, you know.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense if there's
and
not.
then when it's booming, same thing. I mean, there's a lag for sure, but then where our work's booming, it's crazy.
Yeah, I have a buddy named Todd who works for, he works for Bill Wright, and he's out in Indiana right now, and he said that their company has work for the next 4 or 5 years right now. Like, just so much infrastructure is being rebuilt right now, which is kind of a good thing. You know, I'd like to have power.
I do too, yeah. I don't want to be like the Puerto Ricans, man.
Oh, man, dude. Or even parts of California where there's rolling blackouts. Like, we have it good in Arizona, you know? Like,
yeah, we do.
Our population for our power grid is, I mean, I don't know the details of it, but compared to California where they have rolling blackouts that go for miles, it seems like we've got that ratio down a little bit better.
Yeah, we don't have as much load. We have the infrastructure to support our populace instead of the opposite, where California has to buy stuff from everywhere. You know.
Oh, dude, California is just like, I lived in LA in 2002 for a year, Redondo Beach, like right there. My office was on the PCH. You know.
Wow. That's cool.
It was a cool little office, just me and my buddy, just sitting there above Phuket Thai, spelled P-H-U-C-K space I-T, Phuket. Yeah, we had a lot of fun ordering food. Is this fuck it Thai? It's pronounced Phuket. Like, okay.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, okay, fuck it, whatever. You know, so, but yeah, man, it was right there. And just like, I went back a year ago, my buddy ran an Airbnb and wanted me to run it. I lasted 10 days in Hollywood, like right by the Hollywood sign. And it was Oscar week. It's just crowded. I was just like, man,
I am not for this life.
I'm like, God, I'm either gonna get burnt, or there's gonna be a power outage, or there's gonna be an earthquake, and this mountain
dude,
is
and I'm gonna get crushed by this sign.
Well, dude, like right by Lake Hollywood. Yeah, right on top of that hill. Coyotes. I'm sitting there, you know, chilling at night.
Sounds like a good place to pick up prostitutes to me.
No, this is way too high end, bro. Like you go down the hill into Beechwood Canyon, right there by the Church of Scientology. Oh yeah, all day, dude, all day. But yeah, man, it would like, dude, I'm driving in my little Dodge truck past like Maseratis and Bentleys. I'm like, yeah, these are not my people. You know, like if I had enough money, if someone gave me a Bentley, I'd sell it and buy an F-350 King Ratch.
I'd wreck it.
I'd collect the insurance money and then buy the King Ranch. Yeah, that's probably a better way to go. But it's probably funner.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just like, nah, man, not my. I mean, I don't mind being there, but like living there and having to deal with it and having that be my life.
Oh man, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, if I had to live in SoCal, I'd go to Santa Barbara.
I mean, maybe if you just like worked out of your house, or you know, you didn't have to commute and dude, the traffic there is insane, man. Dude, if you could like walk across the street to your office or walk down the street to do whatever you had, okay.
Yeah,
you could talk then, but having to sit in traffic for 2 hours to get 20 miles, like man, that's not for me.
That Trader Joe's in Hollywood, like, was 3 miles from my house, like by the Crow. It was probably 4.5 by street. And it would take me at least a half an hour to get there and to pay for parking. It sucked. You know, the only, like, what I will say is I walked into that Trader Joe's, I looked down at my feet, there's George Carlin's star. I'm just like, all right, that's the only star I care to see. You know, like, but yeah, it was, LA's a rough town that way, man. There's just so many people there. It's literally twice the population of the census because there's illegal aliens from the whole world there. Like, I didn't even know you could be an illegal alien from England, but they got him in. They got him in L.A. Dude. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Anybody who doesn't have a passport is illegal. You know, it doesn't matter where they're from. They can be illegal from Canada. You know, it's just like you don't think about that.
You fucking cunt, eh?
Yeah.
From Canada.
Oh yeah, dude. You know, I always thought that Canadians were like not wimpy, but they're so mellow. You know, I never like really considered like the cold hardening them. And then I was talking to Stephen Kesting, and I was like, dude, this guy's...
Is he Canadian?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a thick Canadian accent.
Dude, every Canadian
awesome.
I ever met, their favorite word was cunt, and they were fucking crazy.
This dude's hard.
That shit crazy,
This dude's hard. He's going into Nogi on his Instagram feed, and he's like, hey, if you're going into Nogi and you want to make it fun, puts the camera on his feet, and he's walking through the snow in his bare feet, in his short, and it's just his rash guards. You know, and like feet crunching in like 2 inches of snow. I was like,
damn, dude.
Like,
I thought working out in Arizona at 10 o'clock in the morning when it's 62 degrees, that was cold.
Yeah, like I was just like, dude. You know, like,
wow.
Yeah, those cool. Yeah, he's hard, dude. And he's a fireman. He like goes cross country skiing and climbs mountains and stuff. Like, damn. That dude's no joke. Yeah, he's a badass, you know. So that will come out in probably second week in January.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So, and you'll be right after him.
Perfect.
The way we release this. But yeah, he's got over 400,000 followers on YouTube. Like, I was just
he
grateful.
does a lot, man.
Yeah, I was grateful that he came on.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's super cool at this time, you know. I'm a little podcast, man. He totally hooked me up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this was cool.
That's good business, man.
Yeah, man. He's super cool. And, like, honestly, a lot of the guys in the gym, when I told them that he was coming on, they're like, Stephen Kesting's coming on? Oh, hell yeah. You know, yeah, it was really cool. So
that's cool.
I'm excited to release that one. But now, I'm going to give a little bit more background on you here. When I first met John Pfeiffer, he was a blue belt. And he walks over to me and goes, hey, I need a big guy to roll with. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, basically he told me he needed someone fat to roll with.
I need a piece of meat.
Yeah, because
now
he's like, I need an answer for the big boys. So I got to try some stuff on you. And then you and Robert Gallivan proceeded to make me your bitch for like 15 minutes, back and forth between the two of you.
Perfect.
Oh, dude, I was like, did I do something wrong? You're like, nope. I'm like, okay. You know, like, but yeah, ever since then, it wasn't shortly after that, we started talking about linemen and stuff, and we knew that a lot of the same people. And but yeah, so I'm like, what is this guy's deal? He plays jiu-jitsu like he's roping a calf, you know? And then I'm a lineman. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, you know? No disrespect to any lineman that may be hearing this, but linemen are a different breed of people. Like, you have roughnecks, right? And most roughnecks are pretty hard. But most roughnecks aren't playing with a product that can kill you and everybody's standing next to you.
That's true, man.
And they're typically not playing with that 100 feet in the air.
And laughing about it.
Yeah, you know? So among roughnecks, linemen are just a different breed of people, you know?
Yeah,
and
we're special.
And then I was like, you know, this guy, okay, he's a lineman. All right, it makes sense. And then someone's like, hey, do you know John Pfeiffer used to be a rodeo clown? And I was like, aha, now that's making a little more sense. Okay, he really is roping a calf when he's playing jiu-jitsu out there. How did you get into rodeo clowning, man?
When I got out of school, I got out a year early because I went to a special school for special kids like me.
For gifted, intelligent young men with goals and ambition.
With a felonious nature. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, I went to a rodeo, and there was a guy that was in charge of providing the animals for the rodeo, the bulls, horses, blah, 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 calves, everything.
So like a wrangler or?
No, like a stock contractor.
Okay.
And I asked him for a job.
Nice.
And he gave me a job.
Nice.
And that's where it started, man. I told him, I said, hey, man, I want to ride bucking horses. I said, and I want to come work for you. He's like, he didn't know how to take me. He didn't take me very serious, but he said, okay, kid, meet me here tomorrow, because he had to move his livestock from point A to point B. He had a feedlot in Levine. And so I went with him, and he kind of showed me around and told me his expectations, and I started working for him the next day. So it started there, and I worked for a stock contractor for about 4 years, and I rode bucking horses and got into fighting bulls and picking up. I could pretty much do anything, anything that they needed me to do in regards to putting on a rodeo, man.
Tight.
Yeah.
And so when did the transition to actually putting on the makeup and getting in the?
I didn't put on makeup, dude. I don't wear makeup. I'm a boy.
No,
man.
Actually,
it wasn't
no clown makeup.
No,
I am a little disappointed, but that's okay.
It happened. I worked with the bulls all the time, so I knew them. They knew me. Like you don't think of cattle or livestock as having personalities or recognizing a relationship with a human being, but it's quite the opposite.
Absolutely.
An animal's an animal, regardless if it's a cat or a dog or a bull or a horse. They all have their own quirks and personalities, and I knew most of them because I dealt with them every day. I doctored them, I fed them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so I had a unique relationship with them where it was like we had an understanding.
Yeah.
And because of that, I knew the mechanics of how they moved and whatnot, and one day we needed a guy, and I said, put me in, coach. And that was that. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I had horses growing up. We had a quarter horse in an Appaloosa. And my quarter horse, Lucky, was a mean bastard. Lucky and I got along great, but anybody else besides me or my cousin that tried to ride him, my cousin was a girl named Mandy. Anybody else that tried to ride him, you'd go to put your foot in the stirrup and he'd start moving away from you. Mm-hmm. Or you'd go to because
he knew he could get away from you.
Yeah. But with me, I'd be like,
grab some mane.
I'd be like, get over here, I respected this animal, but I wasn't going to let him slip on me, And we had a great relationship all through high school.
Yeah.
When I went on my mission, we sold him, but we would board him in the summer up at our ranch in Alpine, and then bring him down for the winter months.
Perfect.
So that they weren't getting
weren't freezing,
getting over climatized one way or another, And that's the thing with horses. It's like they're an outside animal, but they get hot and they get cold like everybody else,
Yeah, they're tougher than everybody thinks too. They grow long. When it's cold, their hair gets longer. They'd be all right.
They got that thicker coat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nevertheless, we had a fun time taking them up there. All summertime, they get to graze on white mountain grass, And
yeah, it sounds like they had a good life.
Oh, dude, they did. Yeah, and we used to actually board horses up there. We don't do it anymore, but we got 40 acres.
Oh, that's awesome.
With a stream running through it, so it's perfect.
Man, you could make some money boarding horses up there.
Yeah,
or leasing it too.
Yeah. The problem is that we're all putting cabins up there now. Like my uncle has the main cabin that we had a double wide on there forever, and it caved in one winter, and my uncle built a
snow
sick
got
cabin.
too heavy,
bro. After like 25, 30 years, dude, you'd stand in one area in this thing and you just sink.
Oh, nice. It was all spongy.
Oh, it was a shitty old trailer, but we loved it.
Who cares,
man? We loved it, man. And we were talking this next generation of nobles, they're not going to know what it's like to be able to have to put your coat on in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom inside the house,
Yeah.
Or like, don't drink the water out of the tap. You don't, you know, like you drink the water out of the igloo. You know, now we got a proper well up there, you know, with an RO system on it just in case. But for a while there, you couldn't even drink the water at our cabin. Like you could shower in it, but like
Yeah, it was too.
there was a weird smell to it
Sulfury
afterwards.
or something, yeah.
there was something. But what's weird is 1 mile away on my aunt's property, the best spring you've ever had in your life. Like,
oh yeah, man! It doesn't even have to be that far. It could be on the other side of a creek.
Yeah,
it changes everything.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Or just the elevation.
Groundwater works.
Yeah, like it's crazy. But yeah. So we had a lot of fun with horses up there. Of course, my aunts and uncles would board horses because it's like 4 properties with an average of like 40 acres apiece, and they've sold a little bit here and there.
Right.
But yeah, it's still like when you're driving. This is the way I explain it to people. When you're driving from like Nutrioso or Sholo, and you're driving into Alpine.
Right.
There's the Big Lake Road that veers off to the right before you get into town. And when you go off on that Big Lake Road, those first 3 exits are my family's land.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it's
cool.
We'll have to go up there, bro. Like I would be down to take a big old group of people
Field
up there,
trip.
man. Oh yeah, it'd be awesome. So throw out some jiu-jitsu mats and train up in the high altitude.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
So
puke.
Oh dude, yeah, yeah. But so yeah, my cabin up there is a good time, dude. We always had horses up there. Some of my aunts and uncles have horses up there, or they'd board them too. So like there was always people riding horses, always kids on horses up there and stuff. But yeah, man, it was a good time. And riding horses down here in the desert, total different experience than riding in the mountains.
Oh, for sure.
You know, just the livestock you can get close to. Like you can actually get close to deer and elk on a horse. You know, like they're not quite as jittery as if they see a two-legged
it's that
primate.
4-legged sound versus a 2-legged sound, man.
Yeah, and the silhouette too. Like, and if you get real close, they'll smell you and take off. But like, I've been within 15 yards of bull elk.
Oh, sure.
You know, where I'm like, look over here. You know, like, you know, and I'm like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. And people are behind you going, what? It's like,
what's happening?
Shut up. You know, like,
shoot it.
No, we didn't have any guns on it, dude. There's some monster
Shoot
elk.
it.
There's some monster elk that come through that area, though, man. I want to start putting in for up there now that the cabin is all sick and everything.
Oh yeah, man. That's a good area.
Yeah, man, and like I've seen crazy wildlife in that area. Like my sister and I, the last time we went up there, she almost hit a bear.
Oh, I believe it.
I've never seen a bear cross the freeway before.
Now you have.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, 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 like, and she would have nailed it. She's like, just driving, you know, not paying attention to the bear, you know, and so, but like, yeah, big old bear too, like a full size Arizona black bear, you know, which is probably like
they get big here, man. Everyone
6
thinks
feet.
It's Arizona, but
No.
we have a big bear population,
Oh,
and
yeah,
our
dude.
bears get pretty good size too.
Yeah, for black bear especially.
Yeah,
man.
6
Like,
footer. That's
a
like
big
probably
bear.
a 300-pound bear.
Yeah,
man.
it's a big, and they just had that big core. You know, have you ever seen those pictures of animals without their fur online?
Yeah.
Bears look like they crawled straight out of hell when they don't have fur, bro.
I know, man. I have a bear hanging on my wall at home.
Yeah, with the fur though.
It's just a rug, yeah.
Yeah.
But
like,
I remember what it looked like
oh, dude.
when it was hanging out in the woods with no hair on it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah, with no
creepy.
skin or anything like that for that matter. Yeah, dude, bears are nuts, dude. What do you think about bear meat, man? I've never had anything but a good experience with bear meat.
I think just like anything, it depends on what it was eating. If you kill a bear and it was eating roadkill, it's probably going to taste a little ranker than if you
Or
got it in a
fish.
berry patch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's all based on diet. I think it's kind of greasy naturally,
Yeah,
but like anything, if you cook it right, it's going to be good.
yeah. I'm a big fan of bear jerky and bear sausage.
Yeah. Why not? Nothing could go wrong in a Dutch oven with some bacon, man. It's potatoes. Let's just put it out there, man.
Yeah, there's a famous wild game chef named Hank Shaw, and I actually reached out to him. I heard about him on another podcast, some hunting podcast, and I reached out to him and started talking to him on Facebook. And he's like, "Hey, man, I got a hunter-gatherer, hunting and foraging group you can follow called Hunt Gather Cook." And so I had a good conversation with him, and about a year later, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was stoked. I was like, "Yeah."
That's cool.
But
you need to get Joe Rogan on your podcast,
bro. I'm not ready for that kind of volume, dude. That would be life changing, dude. I think Yeah, I don't think he'd be. I think it'd be more likely for me to go on his. I don't think he's going to be coming to Arizona anytime soon.
Yeah, who knows, man?
He's I've gotten a couple guests from his podcast. Hunter Motts came on. Kevin Folta came on. So he just has such interesting people on.
He's got access to all kinds of interesting people.
Well, and his platform is so big that like even if Joe Rogan's not really your cup of tea, but you're trying to build, like say you're an author.
Oh yeah, he'll put you out there in front of a big audience. Man.
Yeah. People like, for example, I had some friends that were talking crap about the episode where Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock debate Michael Shermer, who's a skeptic, and Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock are amateur historians. I don't have any problem with the way they present their material, except for Graham Hancock believes any bit of pseudoscientist or woo that crosses his desk. Like spoonbenders, they're legit, you know? Like,
oh, man.
And so, like, I the only argument I've had is that, dude, if you do that, you damage your credibility for work you do in lost civilization. But I had a friend that was like, I can't stand these skeptics. What the crap? You know, this guy was unprepared. And I was like, okay, listen, you know, I thought it was a bit weird that he came on to debate these two guys. He should have been a moderator with them debating an actual historian and archaeologist. But if Joe Rogan's going to bring you on his show, you can't say no, even if it's not your specialty.
Let's do this.
Yeah, because you're just going to get so much notoriety. Just boom, instant.
Sure, and it'd probably be a good time too.
Oh yeah, he's
entertaining at least. Yeah,
smoking some weed in there, you know, like having a good time. Have Jamie Vernon pour you some drinks, you know. It's a good time, you know. We'll get there someday. So, but yeah, man, good guest on that show.
That's cool.
But yeah, when Hank Shaw, actually he was just, I was talking to him online again because he's like, I'm down in Arizona, gonna go hunt quail, and I was like, bro, where are you at? You know, I'll point you in the direction of some good restaurants. And he's like, I'm in Casa Grande. I'm like,
it's gonna be a drive, but
that's a tough one. Small town out in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, yeah. And I go, if you go to Tucson, go to Blake's Lotaburger. It's like a
Blake's, yeah. They have a one in Tucson now.
2 in Tucson.
Since when?
I know they've been there for at least a year.
I thought those were only in New Mexico.
New Mexico, and there's a few in Southern California or Southern Colorado. Not California.
I remember
Colorado.
when they used to only be in New Mexico, man.
No,
that was the place, man. If I go through New Mexico, I don't care what diet I'm on. I'm going to Blake's, man. Fuck it.
That's the first place I had him from. Me and my buddy Chance were visiting his family in Colorado when we drove through New Mexico, and he's like, we always stop here no matter what. And he's like, they got one in Tucson now, but we're stopping here. And it's like a New Mexico version of In-N-Out.
Oh, but better.
Yeah, it's like an old timey malt shop, you know, like, and especially in New Mexico because the buildings are old still. And
and New Mexico is just New Mexico.
Yeah,
that's good food in New Mexico.
Yeah, dude, New Mexico's a good spot, you know. So yeah, Blake. I told him Blake's Lotaburger, and then he's like, and then we're going up to Sedona, and I'm like, oh, you got to go to Caduceus and Merkin in Jerome and Cottonwood, you know, and I gave him some places to go up there, but yeah, man, that guy is a wild game chef. And he talks about hunting bear in Southern California near the avocado farms.
Wow.
And he says that those bears are
fatties.
Oh, he says they call them guacamole bears.
All they do is eat fat, man.
Delicious, dude.
Like, I bet.
So and I've heard blueberries with bears.
I killed a bear when I was 19. The first bear I ever killed, the one that's hanging on my wall at the house, and I got him in a berry patch.
Yeah. What kind of berry?
Good. I don't even remember now. It's been a long time, man.
God, it had to be like raspberries, right? Or gooseberries, or
there was choke cherries and some other berry.
What area was it?
It was southwestern Montana.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, not in Arizona.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
No. It was.
I was thinking you got it.
It was up on the Idaho border.
Gotcha. Yeah. They got some big old bears up there.
It was
big
pretty
everything
good.
Up there,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. This is a nice bear.
Yeah, I've never hunted. I've hunted bear, never gotten a bear. I got a 6x6 elk when I was in high school.
Nice. Yeah, man.
That was a lot of fun.
I have like 9 bonus points for elk in the state of Arizona.
Nice, dog.
I hope Game and Fish is listening.
Yeah.
Keep screwing me out of my $7.50
every damn year. Dude. Yeah, the Game and Fish, man. Those guys have got to get hit up more than anybody.
Oh,
you
man.
know,
I think everybody hates Game and Fish.
You gotta love them and hate them too, because Game and Fish, it's like cops. You know, like people like to bitch about cops, but when it all comes down to
Until you need one.
yeah, well, you need that cop there, you know. Game and fish, yeah, we had to bitch about the draw and everything, but without the game and fish, we'd have nothing to hunt.
Yeah, we'd end up like California.
Yeah.
Where mountain lions were dragging joggers off the trail.
Dude, like, let's talk about that for a second because
about getting eaten.
Yeah, dude, like why is California not managing their mountain lions? I mean, I know it's the state animal, but come on, let's.
It's just like anything, man. If you give a certain populace of people enough power and money, they can push their agenda, man. And somebody somewhere, somehow, sometime with a little bit of coin in their purse decided that the mountain lion was sacred. And they didn't care about the damage it does to elk population, deer population, and now currently
pet populations,
the
and
jogger
people.
population.
Oh, dude, yeah. Dude,
See ya, honey.
I'll have to show this to you, but on Facebook, I shared this a couple weeks ago. John's a ghost on social media.
Yeah,
the only pictures
do
you're
not
going to see
exist.
of John on social media are the ones that either me or somebody else in the gym post. And I've seen a few of you on there.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, they're floating around, but like no one can tag you in them.
No,
so
I don't do social media, man.
Nobody
I'm
knows who
old
you
school.
are. But this guy, it's just a hiker. He's hiking on a trail. He's got his camera out, and he's like, "Oh, look at this," and he's like, "Oh, and there's a mountain lion 15 feet from him.
Dinner time.
And it's just sitting there watching him, and they're like, oh, okay. And they start to back up. And that's the thing is if you turn your back on a mountain lion, it's on you.
Too bad the jogger wasn't carrying a 9mm and pulled it out
exactly.
and
blasted that thing. You'd done everybody
Here,
in California.
kitty.
Yeah, man. And those things are ruthless too, dude. Like they are killing machines.
For sure, man.
You know?
Silent.
Yeah. And dude, when you've seen a mountain lion like a dead one up close that's been stuffed and totally been processed, it's crazy how big they are.
Oh yeah.
Because you think they're probably 3 or 4 times the size of a house cat.
No, like 10.
Dude, I've seen one
or more
that when this guy shot it, and I saw this thing stuffed and on it was a full. It wasn't a rug. It was a full body mount.
Oh,
massive.
Wow. That was expensive.
Dude, this thing, when he shot it, he put it over the back of his horse, and all 4 paws were on the ground.
I'm surprised he got it on his horse.
Yeah, like there was a couple of them, a couple people there, but like he draped over a horse, just boom, that long and lanky. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, they're pretty.
You know who has
interesting
crazy
pieces of
cats
nature.
is Utah. There is something like 5 times as many cats in that valley as there was when Brigham Young settled it.
Wow.
And
I don't know too much about Utah, man.
I lived there for 7 years. Utah's a great time. I mean, they got weird alcohol laws. They've got weird
it's
laws
everywhere,
here and
man.
there.
Everywhere.
But dude, if you're a single guy in your 20s or 30s and you just want to party and have a fun time and hang out with beautiful women, Salt Lake is your place.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Interesting
approachable people. Like I tell my friends this.
Not high-end Barbies that are Richie.
You take the same girl in Scottsdale, and she won't even let you buy her a drink. Where you take that same girl in Salt Lake, and her friends and your friends might be at an after party afterwards. All you got to do is start talking to them. They're just nice people up there.
That's cool.
So there's that. Plus, it's a city that is like really concerned about being in shape and being fit.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's surprising.
That is kind of surprising.
You know, but yeah, people are like a gym. Like there's gyms everywhere up there. 24-hour fitness kills it up there. Gold's Gym is still going strong in Utah. You know,
I remember Gold's Gym, man.
So, but yeah, I love Utah, man. It's a great place, and they'll let you use dogs. They'll let you use whatever, man. Like
to chase cats. There's nothing funner than chasing cats with dogs on snowmobiles, man.
Oh yeah, no, these guys are out there hiking, bro.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, these guys are out there for
those guys must really love fitness,
dude. These guys, like this one I saw, is these 2 guys with 4 dogs, and you can just type in Utah mountain lion hunts on YouTube, and tons of stuff comes up. And they had dogs with GPS trackers, and they're just going through the snow, just hitting it hard, man. Like just following everybody. And this cat's head was twice the size of his. Like when he finally, held it up and stuff. But and of course it's fun to go down the comment threads on those, dude. And see people lose their minds.
Oh my God, you killed a house cat.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, that would drag you off the trail and eat you.
Eat you. and your kids if they were with you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, yeah,
might not even eat you. Might just kill you for fun.
yeah,
too,
it might just kill you.
It might
and leave
just
you
be
there.
a game.
Or it might just maul you.
Yeah.
Like if you ever seen a cat kill a mouse and just
Yeah.
toy with it for a while,
Quack, quack, quack.
same thing, you know. But yeah, dude. Yeah, there's one comment on this thread was like, I want to hunt this guy with lions. It was just okay.
That would be
Yeah,
cool too.
yeah,
I've
okay.
watched that too, man. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Hunting humans with lions.
There's a book I read.
Tune in tomorrow.
There's a book I read in high school. It's a short story, but basically it's a guy who owned an island, and he would there would be shipwrecked sailors that would shipwreck on this island, and he'd hunt them like quarry. You know, he'd like let them work out. He'd like give them a place to live for a few weeks and get them in shape, and then send them out. Well, this one time, a shipwreck guy was a big game hunter. And when he's going through the island, he's seeing signs of like a hunt and like a quarry falling, and like he finds a 22 shell. And he's like, what the heck, man? Like, why would somebody be hunting? Like, obviously, it was a big animal that fell here. Why would he be hunting with a 22? And so this guy finds out that this guy's a hunter, and he's like, I'm going to hunt you because...
You're going to be a challenge.
Yeah, and it ends up... Yeah, it's a good book. I need to find the name of that, but it was a great story. But... So yeah, rodeo clowning, man. What was the craziest thing you saw in the rodeo?
I don't know, man. One of the worst things I ever saw, I don't know about crazy, was I seen a bull buck so hard it broke both its back legs, and it was in White River, Arizona, on the reservation.
Wow.
It bucked so hard. It was like a prospect. The stock contractor I worked for had his own breeding program for prospect bulls, and this one was a nice prospect. It looked the part, it acted the part, it had the right temperament, and so we started bucking him, and it was the first time I ever bucked him, and he bucked so hard he broke both of his legs, and so he was out in the middle of an arena, on the middle of a reservation, and it was a big rodeo. It was Labor Day weekend.
Sheesh.
And some crazy ass fucking Indian goes out there with the big front end loader, trying to scoop this bull up, this 1,000-pound bull up in front of the whole crowd, and the guy I worked for freaked out.
Yeah, I would think.
So we ended up, roping it and dragging it in a trailer, driving the trailer off, and we had to take care of it because
there's nothing
done.
you can do there. Yeah.
So at that point, you butcher them, and salvage what you can.
Yeah.
Because that's the humane thing to do.
Right. You're not going to
try to pick up a live animal that's
and set the
with
exactly
the front end loader, man. It was out of hand. Like, you can't make shit like that up, dude.
That's
some crazy ass Indian.
The noise that bull was making must have been horrible.
It didn't really make too much of a noise, but it did try to stand back up and couldn't, and that was kind of
that's the worst.
That was probably the worst part of it.
Yeah.
That's nature, though. I mean, it is what it is, but it's definitely not something that you want to see
or have your kids at the rodeo see.
Well, yeah, I don't know so much about that. I don't think that way. I think, just the humane part of it. Like, this is an animal you bred and you raised, and
it's like a pet.
Yeah, not so much a pet, but it's like part of your program.
It's like a colleague,
and you don't wish this on it the way it suffered. You
think like you look at it more as like someone you work with. Like an animal you work
with?
Man,
I don't know. I look at it more like an object, like a piece of the puzzle for the business. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'm not an animal rights person. I think to me, if that's my dog, I own that dog. That's my property. I'm that kind of guy. I'm not like the dog has civil rights kind of guy. Like
You're
that's
not?
No, man. Come on.
You're not like a liberal, John? Really?
No, sir.
This is shocking.
I'm something else completely, and that's not it. So that was probably the worst thing I ever saw.
Yeah. What's the funnest rodeo you've ever been? Like the best story, best time?
I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Was this is when you were young? So
yeah, I was young.
So buckle bunnies were everywhere.
Oh yeah, man. I ran around with older guys too. So I was.
Yeah.
It was out of control, man. All the other guys were, like late 20s, early 30s, and I'm like 17, 18, 19, 20. Just a kid, man.
But don't you have to be home soon? Nope.
No.
All right.
I live with these guys.
Yeah, dude. When I was working in Salt Lake for the Collective, it was a concert promotion company. There was a couple like just 12 and 13-year-old little hood rats that used to hang out with us and be like, I guess they're part of the crew,
Yeah.
you know, like, so.
What could we do?
Yeah, you know. Yeah, especially like with a personality like you do. What are they going to do? Try to send you home? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Good luck.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
It was a lot of fun, man. I had that's where I consider growing up, I was 17 to like 20, 21,
yeah.
all over the western U.S., man, a different town every week, man. It was, I worked my ass off too, and we played hard, man. It was an education, to put it mildly,
Oh, for sure, man. Hanging out with, dude, that's a crew of roughnecks for sure.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah, dude. Sheesh. And those are roughnecks playing with a product that will fight back.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, dude. So I think what needs to happen is you've seen the movie Dodgeball, right?
Yeah, not for a while though, but yeah.
Okay. There's a scene where Ben Stiller is explaining a painting to him, to the girl, and I don't remember her name, Marsha Brady. And he's got the bull, and he's got the bull in a headlock, and he's got his hands on the horns, and he's like, "This is a picture of me taking the bull by the horns. It's a metaphor." Dude, you need one of those paintings. Like,
I actually have one. It's a live picture though.
No. This is like a glamour shot of him with like, like an 80s glamour painting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I need to get one of those for you, like a total glamour painting. Like, that's me taking the bull by the horns.
Put that up in the living room.
Yeah.
Man.
So, line life. What's crazier, rodeo life or line life?
It depends on, line life potentially could be a lot crazier, depending on your marital situation and stuff. I'm married and I have kids, so I don't party like that no more. I don't play in that crowd.
Yeah.
But the dangerous thing about the line life is we make all right money. We do all right, and we got to work a lot of hours and stuff. So you have enough coin to where you could get yourself into some serious trouble real quick if you wanted to.
I have known some linemen that have gotten themselves in trouble.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
Once again, it's an interesting crowd because of the nature of our job. We draw an interesting kind of person,
Yeah.
that's, willing to climb up a 100-foot pole or a 200-foot tower,
rubber glove over hot wires.
yeah, stuff like that. Like, it's not for everybody, so we draw kind of a weird group of people, and within that group, there's a big deviation too.
Yeah,
but,
I have a buddy who he lives out in Santa Barbara. He's a lineman out there, and he told me a story about, I think it was like his foreman's nephew or something, but this guy got fired because and this is when he lived in Blythe. And they're doing line work out in Blythe.
Right.
And he had like this huge truck, like this huge rig, and it had two giant transformers. I mean, these things are like 20 feet by 15 feet by 10 feet.
Oh, wow.
So this guy comes up to my buddy and goes, "Hey, man, I heard that they'll buy these things in Mexico for like $300,000 a pop." And my buddy just goes, "Yeah, I wouldn't try it."
Good luck,
and
homie.
So that guy's driving one of the trucks, okay? And they're all in line, and they all turn to go back to the city where they're supposed to be.
Hard left.
And homie keeps going straight, south, So they're like, the fuck? And I ask my buddy, and he's like,
I don't know nothing.
So
he may or may not have hinted at the fact that he could sell these in Mexico.
Yeah, like
brother.
He's just like, I don't know, but I actually don't know what he said, but I know that he saw this guy take off, and like a week later, they found the truck with everything still on it in like a town. It wasn't quite in Tucson, but it was kind of close to the border, border towns down there. And no, this isn't California, so it would have been more over in
by Tijuana.
Yeah. But the guy went down there and couldn't find anybody to buy it. Obviously, he's just driving around seeing if people want to buy this shit.
For sale.
Yeah, exactly.
300,000 pesos.
That's
amigo.
Probably one of those things you should probably have a buyer lined up before you make your big move.
I think that would have been a great idea.
Yeah, that.
It might have saved him a little bit of heartache not selling it though, because That might have landed him in some
federal
problems.
facilities there.
Or
for
you
a
know
couple
what? They
years.
might have just killed him and took
Right?
him.
Yeah, you talking about
Come deliver. We pay more.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna take your organs too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they found him in a hotel. Like he'd just been
all fucked up.
Oh yeah, he'd just been strung out like, that whole time. Like no, scared. Like just
What
scared
do
to
I
go back
do?
to work, scared to leave the hotel. Like
I stole $600,000 worth of transformers.
I think there was
and
2 of them on there.
Yeah.
So there was over a
Substation transformers.
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like.
It. So yeah, that's like grand larceny. Like that's.
Oh yeah.
That's enough.
I got lost.
Yeah.
I wasn't stealing shit. I got lost.
Exactly.
I'm on drugs. I have a problem.
Yeah,
Please help me.
Yeah, and I think that's
the route you have
I think
to
that's
go,
what the company
definitely.
did.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we're gonna put him in rehab.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not cool that he did that.
Yeah.
But it's cool that they tried to help him out because it sounds like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. No, that was my buddy prefaced the story with this guy is an idiot. But
this guy is not my friend.
No, exactly.
I'm not associated with him. But I'm going to tell you about this.
It was
hilarious.
more of one of those. Okay, let me tell you one of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody do.
That's pretty bad, man.
Dude.
I've known some guys that, we make all right money, but they got greedy like that and stealing copper. And stealing copper leads to stealing pickup trucks full of copper and then semi-trucks full of copper. And there's an apprentice that was an apprentice when I was that ended up in prison for several years over a deal. I think he just got out over copper.
Damn.
But I think he was messing around a little bit,
Yeah.
Usually that shit goes hand in hand. If you party a little too hard, you get in a bad way.
Well, and sometimes linemen will find themselves traveling across country. And what do they do after work? They all go to a bar.
That's right.
To unwind and
meet interesting girls.
Well, yeah.
Very, very high-end women.
Yeah, yes. College graduates.
That you may or may not have to pay for their companionship.
Yep. Dancing, going dancing.
That's right.
But no, man, like, so anytime you have drinking going on every night.
Oh yeah, drinking in a pocket full of money.
It's gonna lead to powder. Especially because powders, you piss it out in 3 days.
Yeah.
So.
And when you go down, you got to come back up, right?
Yeah. So
you got to even out.
Yeah. So I can see how that can lead down that path.
Yeah, it does, and just.
I don't want to make it sound like every lineman does.
No.
There's a lot of them that don't. But
anyone that parties, though, I mean, we all know how it goes.
Industry.
In any industry. If you're going to party, dude, it's going to be around. The sad thing now is it seems like not just in my industry, but, across the board, economic, every economic class, it seems like the pill popping thing is
crazy.
Out of fucking control, man. Like,
crazy.
I don't even know what it is these people see in that shit. Like, I have a surgery and eat a Vicodin, and I feel like I want to throw up, man. I don't want to get fucking high off that shit.
I eat.
It's sad, man.
Yeah, I like in my 20s, I'm not going to lie and say I never touched it. There was one time a good friend of mine handed me a pipe, and I assumed it was full of weed. He assumed it was full of opium.
Oh, yeah.
Someone had lied to him and told him that's what it was, and it wasn't.
What was it?
Heroin.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, bro, what is this? It tastes like shit.
Yeah, let's never do this again.
It's like opium. And I was like, by the time he had told me what it was, I was like, yeah, I'm done with it, dude.
I never done that.
I went down. I sat on a couch with my head back like this.
For how long?
An hour. in a house party full of people.
Wow.
Like, I was aware of what was going on.
You just didn't give a fuck.
But I couldn't move. I mean, maybe if I'd really tried, but like I was just kind of like,
wow.
And like people were like, "Hey, Jess, are you okay?" And I'd be like,
"I am alive."
So I'd be like, "I guess he's fine."
He wiggled. He's okay.
Yeah, he wiggled his hand. But yeah, an hour, and then I just kind of woke up. But yeah, dude. I mean, in my 20s in Utah, every 6 months to a year, we'd be like, let's do something crazy tonight. Let's get some shrooms, or maybe get some blow, or maybe get some oxys. But anytime I do that, I'd be like, why do people? And I'd never sniff them, so I'd never rail them or take them up the skull that way. And so maybe I missed what the big rage was.
Yeah,
but I never saw the lure, And I probably did it 3 times in 10 years. As far as the opiates go, just because I've lost friends to that.
Oh man, it's gnarly. Anytime they have a commercial on TV that says, for your opioid constipation, take this pill, we know we got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
dude. Like, stop
Like,
eating
how much
them
are
and
you
you'll
taking?
shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, sheesh.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie Trainspotting?
No.
Oh, dude. There's this part where Ewan McGregor is getting ready to quit the heroin.
Good for him.
And he goes to his dealer, and he's got this whole method he uses. He's got the bucket, 2 buckets in his room, one for feces, one for vomiting, and he takes one last hit of heroin and then goes into his room for
He's
3
gonna
weeks.
cold turkey it.
Yeah, and he goes to his dealer to get his final hit, and the only thing this dealer has is suppositories. And
Wow.
so it's been a while for him, so he shoves him up his ass and he starts to walk home. And as he's walking home, he just goes in the middle of the street. He's like, oh, he like bends over and holding his stomach and runs into this bar, and it's like the nastiest toilet in England.
Fuck it.
And he's like, I don't care. And he takes a crap, and then he realizes he shit out the suppositories. And so it shows him looking at the toilet, and he's like, and he dives in.
Oh, no, he
and
didn't.
He's sorting through it, and in his mind, like the dream sequence takes over, and it shows him like crawling deep into this toilet and like swimming through water.
That's disgusting.
And he finally grabs him. He's like, yeah. And he comes up and like, it shows him walking out of the bathroom, and he's just covered in just water. And he's just like, and people are like, in the pub, like, what did you do,
just happened?
Yeah. But he talks about like the constipation clearing, and all of a sudden he's got to go now. You know,
that's
like,
disgusting.
Oh, it's a hilarious movie, Trainspotting. Yeah, it's got some hard footage in it, but like it definitely made me understand like the heroin addiction in England a lot better because I lived over there. And yeah,
that's where you did your mission, right?
Yeah, England and Wales.
I remember you talking about that.
There are there are beaches in the UK that you just can't walk on without your shoes.
Because of syringes and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's hardcore. You know, Swansea was like that. Yeah, and where I was at, I was on the west side of England, and like that's the muddy side of England. All the nice beaches are on the east side. You know, like Torquay.
Yeah, I've never been over
like
there, man.
You should take your wife.
I've been to
over there
Germany.
sometime.
Been to the motherland.
Yeah, Pfeiffer.
Man, that's right.
Pfeiffer Hasselhoff. Lots of good chocolate in Germany, bro.
And beer.
Mm-hmm. You got to take the family over to England sometime, man.
Yeah, I'd like to, man.
Yeah, go in the summertime when it's only rains like an hour a day. In the wintertime, it rains like 6 hours a day.
Man, I met some people from England once, and they said they didn't have a refrigerator. Is that true? They got refrigerators over there?
Yes.
They said they had like a stone box or some shit.
Dude, the typical refrigerator in English flat is a college refrigerator, like a smaller one.
Really?
Yeah. They don't steam and bleach their eggs over there, so
they sit out at room temperature for a week or
forever.
2 or a month or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, forever.
Like a chicken.
Yeah. So
like you find naturally.
Yeah. So like there's stuff like that. They still have milkman delivery and stuff. In the morning, they'll deliver like a pint of milk to you if you want. They have bread boxes over there. You know, you put the bread in because it keeps the moisture out. You know, like we don't. No one has bread box in Arizona, man.
Fuck
Yeah,
no.
dude. Like
Arizona's like an anomaly, man.
Yeah, dude.
We don't even do daylight savings.
No, dude, we can't be bothered with that shit.
Don't fuck with us.
I got back from my mission once, and like I didn't pay attention to what daylight savings was before the mission, and I'm working for my buddy, and I'd been partying the night before, and daylight savings tomorrow, sweet, I can go in an hour late, just tell them I forgot, you know. He's like, bro, we don't have daylight savings in Arizona. That plan totally backfired. I looked like an idiot.
Huh.
I was like, oh,
my bad.
yeah. Sorry, I'm late. You know,
nice.
Bad news, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, Arizona's crazy, man. Like, it's the Wild West out here, dude.
Still is, man. I think it will be forever too.
Yeah,
just how it goes.
Yeah, man. Like, what do you think the gun population for people per capita is here? Is it like
everyone?
I'm talking like 7.3 per person as far as many guns.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be hard to put a number on it. I would say at least one per person.
Yeah.
No matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, easily. So many guns out. I carry a gun out here just because it's Arizona, and look, you got yours right there. You know, hell yeah. And if something goes down, I don't want to be the only person without a damn gun here. You know, like, that's a sick piece. What kind is it?
SIG.
Nice. Yeah, I got a Ruger 9mm. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. I carry it there in the front too.
Yeah, that Penix carry is comfy.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, you can't tell. And I'm in
Yeah.
a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's great. I got a gut, and you can't tell with mine. Although
As long as it's comfortable.
when I'm sitting down, sometimes
It gets a little
yeah,
uncomfortable, yeah.
But it's been better since I've been losing weight. So
Good, man. Yeah, keep coming into the gym, man.
Dude.
Eating good.
30 pounds strong
That's
this year.
That's
man.
awesome, man. Good for you. Your knees and your heart, thank you.
Everything, dude. Well, I got my health history because I'm adopted, right?
Yeah.
And I met my biological mother last year, and I got
so she filled you into what you're prone to.
Yeah, and unfortunately my biological father died in January of this year, so I couldn't reach out and talk to him, but I talked to his sisters and I got my health history.
That's so cool, man.
Diabetes, heart disease, I got all the good shit coming down the pipe, you know.
Too,
so
man.
I'm just trying to get ahead of my genetics at this point, you know. Like,
oh man, hey man, just eating good, dude. Your body's a machine, just like anything, man.
So
it's gonna function better. You're gonna feel better.
Yeah, but it's crazy watching people slim down.
Yeah, it's amazing on how much you can. Yeah. Even if you didn't eat that great and you just were consistent on your workouts, it's natural.
I haven't eaten. I mean, I don't eat horribly, but I don't eat like crazy.
You're not eating to lose. You're just eating to eat.
Yeah, and I'm
to survive or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I'll eat a meal to enjoy it, and sometimes I'll eat a meal just because it's fuel.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, if I were to be consistent on a diet, I'd probably be at 50 or 60 pounds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just because. Like,
well, you got to enjoy life too. That's the ticket, man. You got to find a happy medium where you don't get too obsessed or you get burned out.
For sure.
And you can still enjoy like Christmas and Thanksgiving. Blah blah blah.
Oh, dude. Because I haven't been eating as much rich foods this year, this holiday season killed my stomach. Man.
Oh, dude, me too, man. I've been eating like a little fat kid, dude, the last couple days.
Queso. I told Clayton this last night because Clayton's been cutting for, not cutting, but he's been on weight for No Gi Worlds for the past like 3 months, and he's shredded.
Oh yeah.
And then he went to No Gi Worlds, took third, did really well, and then didn't have to diet anymore and went on family vacation. So last night when he's teaching this move, he looks over and it's like, there's some chub here. And I just smile to myself and I pull him aside after. I'm like, bro, don't take this the wrong way. This was awesome.
Let me touch that.
This was awesome to see this, right? He just laughed. Clayton's just a class act, you know? And he's like, yeah, bro, you should have seen my stomach a couple days after I started
all bloated and shit.
Boom. Out in California.
Yeah, they went to Tahoe or something, right?
He went snowboarding in Tahoe and visited some family in like San something,
the beach.
Yeah, so just had
that's
fun.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen him since before Worlds.
Yeah,
I've been going in the mornings and not the afternoons.
Yeah, so, but yeah, man, we've got that fight to win coming up too.
Yeah,
with Jake and Aurora.
Yeah. That should be good. It's a brown belt title fight.
Yeah,
Jake Watson.
Yeah, Jake's actually going to come on here. We're going to talk about it before.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, Jake.
He's got a big personality,
dude. He does great on these podcasts.
I bet. He's a good talker, man.
Well, dude, he's not my most listened to, but both of his episodes have over 200 plays, which is kind of a lot for me.
Really?
Yeah, like he does really good episodes whenever he comes on. Like he's got a lot of enthusiasm and passion. And he's got a ton of knowledge.
Yeah, once you get him talking about jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah, that's all we talk about.
Yeah, that's he's fun.
Yeah, and he's one of Andre's proteges.
For sure.
Andre's the man.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't, for the first 3 or 4 months training, I didn't know Andre that well, just because
you're brand new.
Well, and the higher belt classes were so big, and Clayton was teaching the white belts at Power. But since,
I remember that when we divide.
Yeah, and
we'd warm up and then divide.
Yeah, I kind of like it better this way now.
Well, I think it's better for you. I understand managing the class and whatnot, and not wanting to get too advanced and being able to get more advanced for the more advanced people.
Right.
But I think just for stuff that beginners can comprehend and go along when we do basic stuff.
Yeah, for that.
I think when you get to practice with someone who's been doing it for a while and is a couple, belts above you, those little details they can help you with, dude, they make the learning curve so much faster for you. I think that's a fortunate thing to have a more advanced training partner. I think that's
absolutely,
awesome.
Man. I try to get somebody who's better than me to drill
and
with all the time.
And the opposite to me, the opposite side of the coin is the more advanced people, they refine their game by not only being able to do it, but to be able to explain it in a way that someone who doesn't know how to do it can comprehend and understand, and then actually do it. And it's two sides of that coin.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what makes you sharp, you know. If
yeah,
you can
man.
not only do it, but explain so someone can understand. I try to
teach
apply
it,
the
yeah.
same principles at work with my apprentices and stuff. So that's what I really like about this is, you know, jiu-jitsu, I get to be the student, man.
Yeah.
I don't have to be the teacher. I get to learn, man. I dig that. And it keeps me humble and keeps me grounded for when the roles are reversed and I'm the teacher and I have a student. I remember what it's like to not understand and how can I get it so they can understand. And I think it makes me more effective instructor too, you know, like, dude, I get a lot out of jiu-jitsu for me, you know. It does more than just a workout for me.
Oh, yeah. For me, like, you and I are in the same boat with that, man. It's anger management.
I don't know about anger, but I think
for me, it's straight up anger.
A mental outlet. I think it's a release mechanism. It's healthy, man.
The way I explain it to people is before I found jiu-jitsu, if 10 is I'm flipping out, I'm getting fired, I'm getting arrested, I'm getting in trouble, and 1 is I'm totally chill and mellow, I would wake up in the morning at about a 3 or a 4. By the end of my work day, I'd be at like a 7 or an 8. You know, come
that's
home.
not healthy.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Well, that's good that you found an outlet then,
well,
man.
bro, I'd come home, I'd smoke a little weed, play in my garden, you know, and I'd get down to like a couple notches, go to bed, wake up at like a 3 again. But by the time you get done with jiu-jitsu, bro, when you're worried about how much air is getting into your lungs that second, you don't care who you are.
I know,
that's
what I like about it.
Is it brings out those primal survivor skills where you literally just shut everything out and focus on that moment.
For the hour or 2 hours or 2.5 hours, whatever our classes are for the day, life just pauses for a moment, and this is what we're thinking about is this technique, or when we start going live, grappling, or, you know, how do I set them up, or how do I not get caught, blah, 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 blah. And life itself, all your problems are good or bad, you know, or work life and home life and fucking tax season, whatever the fuck's consuming your brain kind of gets paused, and you have that just moment in time. It's clarity, you know what I mean?
Well,
it's like I'm free from the world for a minute, or, you know, for an hour, and this is all I have to worry about is not getting choked. Like, I think it's amazing thing.
Oh yeah, well, it's like pausing time.
Yeah,
you know, and just working out issues and then going back into it. But it's not only that you get to check out and not worry about that stuff, you have to check out.
Oh yeah,
because if someone gets a hold of your arm
and you're thinking about taxes, you're gonna get fucking
done.
Yep,
done so fast, you know. And it doesn't matter if it's a 15-year-old girl.
No,
you know,
some of those girls are
badass. Dude, the girls in our gym are killer. People, my friends laugh at me all the time because I'm like, yeah, I get beat up by girls.
Yeah,
you know, like
whatever.
Like if I roll with Aurora, I know that she's gonna rough me up.
Oh yeah, like, dude, she's pretty good, man.
Yeah, and she's got that fight to win coming up. I'm so excited for her. Yeah.
She works hard.
Yeah,
man.
she does.
She's a hard worker.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Yeah.
So, and their whole family.
Dude, they got a whole herd of them.
There's
man.
like 15 of
them. They
all
work hard. Man.
All of them.
Every
dude.
one of them.
Yeah,
dude.
I love it, dude. I love watching them all
right,
in.
Man. Yeah.
You know, I love watching them all roll in because that is a family that like jiu-jitsu brings them together.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know?
There's like 14 kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
They got a whole herd.
Dude, they've got kids that are like too young to train.
I know, man.
They've got kids we haven't even met yet, bro.
Buy a TV, man.
Yeah, dude. No, but and yeah.
No, yeah, they all
her
work
dad,
hard.
Giovanni, like it's been fun watching because she's ahead of her whole family. Her and her sister started before everyone else.
Right.
And watching those other guys come up and get up to speed has been super cool. Like that's got to be amazing watching someone like me that comes in who's horrible at grappling.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and watch
chubby,
the progression.
Yeah, that's got to be amazing.
I think, yeah, it's pretty neat. It's hard to, you know, when you see everyone daily, you know, you don't notice it as much. I mean, maybe a little bit if you take a minute to pause and just reflect. But where I notice it is like, let's say I hurt my elbow and I was out for a year and then I came back. Oh my God, dude, everyone got so good and I got worse. And so it was like, fuck.
Yeah. Now, who else did you start with? Like you started with like Eddie and those guys? Or
I trained with Eddie before we went to Power. We worked out at another gym for, I don't know, a year or two. I worked out with Eddie. I worked out with him for a while.
But who all came from that gym?
Just me and Eddie now.
That's it?
Everyone else is kind of, Old Man John.
Okay.
Yeah, he worked out there.
Okay,
Trevino,
cool.
John Trevino, I think is his name.
Yeah, it's
Travana, something Italian.
some Italian name. Yeah.
He was the last one.
Yeah,
and there was a couple other guys that kind of filtered out, over the years, but
yeah, he would be a blue belt if he was a little more consistent.
Yeah,
yeah, he's good.
No, he is, man. He's been dabbling in it. I don't know. He's not super consistent, but he comes, 5 or 6 times a month, pretty regularly.
Yeah, he got hurt for a little while.
Yeah, he hurt. I forget what he hurt, like a rib or something, or a shoulder.
Yeah, it was a shoulder. Yeah, now you say that. And then he rolled with some younger white belts, and they
wadded him up.
Yeah,
that happens,
it
man.
Aggravated it. Yeah, it was to the point where, like, you'll get an injury and you're not hurt, but you're just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then if you're not
if
careful,
you don't, it turns into
further.
More than it needs to be.
Yeah, and so I think that's what happened with him. But props to him, man.
He's great.
Well, I talked to him when he first came back in. I'm like, dude, what happened? He's like, well, I got hurt, and then I came back and I checked out a few other gyms, and I tapped a blue belt here, I tapped a purple belt here. He's like, I just want to, stick with Andre.
Yeah, man.
So
I think we're lucky to have Andre.
Bro, I won the lottery, bro. Power MMA was I told you about that first gym I started at, right? The guy,
maybe you did. I don't remember.
The guy, I think I did, but the guy's a nice guy. He's just a little bit of a cheesy personality, and he's a blue belt on his own little, and he's not trying to be the professor or anything.
No, he's just got a bunch of guys together, kind of a thing.
And he's teaching him what he knows, and it's just.
Hey, man, that's mat time, dude.
Yeah, well, no, it's just drilling though. Yeah. There's no rolling.
Oh,
and it's just Gracie combatives.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's jiu-jitsu and it's cool, but it's
Did
not
he go
as
through
much
that
fun.
online?
Yeah, Gracie University and stuff, and he's cool, good guy, nice guy, super cool guy, but just a little cheesy. And the problem is that those 2 nights a week he does jiu-jitsu for those 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Every other night, if someone has a black belt in any other system, he'll let them have a class. And I would just go in there, and there were guys with their gi pants tucked into 2-toed boots, playing with sticks.
Ninjas?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. And so
wow.
I'm sitting there.
Ninjas.
Dude, wait.
That's
this is
cool.
the best story, bro. So I'm sitting there watching this thing, and this black belt who had been teaching this class before, and they're playing with sticks and stuff, and he comes up next to me and looks at me and drops his bag on the chair next to me, and then starts going through his bag. And I'm like, oh, okay, this guy.
Hey, princess.
This guy wants me to talk to him. Okay. I go, hey, man, what's up? He's like, oh, nothing. I go, cool. So you're a black belt, huh? He's like, well, I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu, but I'm a black belt in, and he names off some system. And I'm like, I'm not super hardcore, diving into different martial arts from around the world, but I'm pretty well versed, I'm like, yeah, I'm not familiar. And he goes, well, it's
one of a kind.
Modern day ninjutsu.
Oh.
And I go, so
you spray painted a white belt?
I go, so you're a ninja? And he's like, well, modern day ninja. But yeah, essentially. I go, oh, okay, cool. So I'm thinking great, dude, you're a ninja,
Cool, man.
And I'm like, so
let's go kill some shit with some ninja stars.
So I'm like, what's your name? I go, what's your name, bro? And he's like, my name's Maynard. And I'm thinking, thinking this guy gave himself this name probably sometime in the late 90s.
Hey, Maynard.
Maynard the Ninja. I'm like, dude, this guy must crush the pussy at Comic-Con.
This guy is badass, dude.
Dude. I can imagine this guy hooking up with a chick, and he drops a smoke bomb and disappears. And then then he's hanging from the ceiling. And, so but I was like, all right, cool. And this gym was cool. There's nice guys in it. There's still some people I follow online from that gym. And every now and again, I'll see someone at a tournament.
You should go roll with them, man.
I should, but they don't roll. It's just combatives.
That's right. You said it was just drilling.
Yeah. So
that's crazy, man. Yeah. I love rolling.
Oh, dude.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, dude. You drill because it makes you better at rolling.
Yeah.
But rolling is where the fun part is, going live. So I just decided hey, I'm here to learn jiu-jitsu. And if there's an option to learn something else, I would like it to be something that I might possibly give a fuck about,
like boxing or something,
or Muay Thai, or So I was like, I'm just gonna go to Power. Walked into Power, and the first person I saw was Lynn Ramsey,
a fucking giant of a human being.
And then I saw you and Michael Martin with your cauliflower ears, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the place to be, right? Yeah. So I feel like I won the lottery, bro. As far as
I think we all did,
an instructor, as far as a core group of guys, and that's the
crazy
thing.
We got a tough gym, man.
Well, dude, it fell apart 5 months after that, dude. Like, that's the craziest thing about Andre's team is when you look at what he's accomplished under the circumstances he accomplished it. Basically, our gym shut down. We were rolling in the hottest.
I love that place,
hottest
man.
building in Phoenix.
I love that building.
Yeah, dude. 420. We were all so in shape when we left
man.
that, bro. Like, oh my gosh, dude.
I like training like that.
Yeah,
man.
dude. It was sweat and
I
sawdust.
bet it'd be cold as shit now, though.
Yeah, spit and sawdust in this gym. It was July.
No AC.
No AC. And this thing, it was probably 30 feet by 30 feet by. It was probably a 10-foot ceiling.
Yeah.
And 40 people in it. All rolling, all doing jiu-jitsu in the middle of summertime.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was brutal, and displaced, disheveled, homeless, and our team still took first in the state. Yeah. I mean, that's just a testament to Andre's coaching.
Absolutely, man.
We didn't even have a gym. I didn't compete, so I can't claim anything there, but I remember a couple guys asking me why I wasn't competing in that before, and I was just like, man, I'm just not ready. I've only been doing this 5 months,
Yeah. No, competing's and just stepping out on the mat's a big thing, man.
Yeah, but I really feel like if you want to test your jiu-jitsu and you want to get better and have your jiu-jitsu mean something, you need to compete.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a pretty fair statement. It lets you know where you're at with someone the same size, approximately the same experience,
Yeah.
This been doing it, and it lets you test what you know versus a fully resisting opponent that's trying to do their thing to you too.
Right.
So I think it's pretty real,
And also it lets you know how good your training partners are at certain aspects of their game.
Yeah, I think so. And then it's hard to replicate that intensity. Competition speed's faster than the rest of it. And sometimes maybe the better training partners are the ones that go a little bit harder, I mean, we can get anything out of something.
I feel like you prepared me for competitions.
I try to train I try to train intense,
Yeah.
like not like let's break our toys, but let's break a good sweat. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's play jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
My first tournament, my first match, this guy beat me on points, but
I lost my first match, dude.
Super heavyweight. He got me in a key lock up top, and he couldn't get my elbow down, so he couldn't finish it. But from there, he tried to transition into knee on belly, and it was like it was. I literally just pushed his knee off. After training with you, bro, I was just like, dude, you've got no hope. Like you're putting your knee in my stomach. If you can't feel my spine in your knee,
I'm trying to.
You've got no hope of trying to keep that knee in there, because my spine can feel John's knee. You made me love knee on belly.
I love knee on belly.
Dude, now whenever I roll,
I didn't used to though. It grew on me too,
Yeah.
man. At first, when I first started messing with it, it was like, oh, it was a good way to pick up a couple points, in transition to or from mount or whatever.
Yeah. That's when I first tried it, was a transition into
But
full
then
mount.
I like that you can pick up points going in or out, not both, but either way. But then I just got comfortable there, and I learned how to balance there, and I learned how to ride my knee on them and make my opponent uncomfortable so they, present an arm or something.
That's the coolest thing about it is it softens them up, and they present an arm.
I think that that's
I was in knee on
concept.
belly with Ryan, not Ryan Lipscomb, the other one.
Old man Ryan?
No, the other purple belt Ryan.
Old man Ryan Baldwin?
Yeah, you call him. He's not old.
He's old.
Nah, dude,
he's older than me, and I'm old.
He's younger. He's my age. Not older than me.
How old are you, man?
39.
God, you're different. You're
Yeah,
fucking ancient,
old,
bro.
dude. I'm old as. No, I'll be 39 next
I'm
month.
35, man. I'm older.
Oh, dude, you're
Still
1 foot in the
fucking
grave.
Old. I know,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Halfway to death.
No, but he got me a knee on belly, and he had pulled out my gi before.
Mm-hmm.
And with knee on belly, he got that
Around behind your neck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, blew my mind. I was like, you can get choked out from knee on belly?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude. I'm like, you know what?
I love it.
I think that John Pfeiffer's been sandbagging with me. I think he's not been grappling to his fullest potential with me. Obviously. But yeah, dude, it made him laugh. But
That's awesome.
yeah, dude, I was just like, so now I'm at the point with my knee on belly where, first I try it and they just buck it right off.
Yeah.
You know, but now I'm getting to the point where I can stick
You
it
can
in
ride
a little
it.
harder. I'm not quite as mobile as I'd like to be with it, but I want to be able to start setting up chokes and
Yeah,
submissions
that's what it's
with
for,
it.
man.
You know, like it's so my knee on belly game is getting better, but also it's like, man, like when you have somebody who goes to a move all the time in your gym, everybody in that gym gets really good at defending it.
Yeah, that's
and it
no
makes it
lie.
even harder for you.
Yeah.
And so when you can sink it in on people that know how to defend
And know
it,
it's coming.
then you are the shit. And that's when you're ready for competitions because they don't know it's coming. Because
Right.
they've never
That's a
read,
big
you know,
thing.
like,
But you don't know what they're going to do either.
Right.
That's an advantage or disadvantage. You know, you
Right.
get to everyone knows what everyone's going to do.
yeah, like with
Sometimes
you,
I think it's kind of a handicap.
with
know,
you, I know that if you're in side mount and you're putting your hand on my collar and your hand on my belt, I know right then your
Yeah.
knee's coming.
Yep.
Every
And
time.
anyone that does that, you should know that.
Yeah.
Anytime they have that hand in your collar, like I put in your beneath your neck with my knuckles to
Yeah.
the mat, that's dude. I'm going to knee on belly. Anyone
Yeah.
that does that, more than likely they're going to knee on belly with
Yeah.
that, because then they're halfway to the choke from there. You know.
Yeah.
So. You know,
Yeah,
not that I know a
I,
whole lot, but I like to do that.
It's been fun too. Since in the last couple months, we've had a lot more white belts come in, and so
Yeah,
now
man, it's a lot of fun, man.
I get to practice
That's cool.
attacking instead of just defense. You know.
Hey, that's good, man. You know, I still practice with some of my training partners a lot of defense, man. This is how
Yeah.
it goes, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're at the point now where, like, when you roll with Jake, it's like when in Charlie Brown when they get in the fight and it's like the dust puddle with people rolling around the
Yeah.
ground. That's what it looks like, minus the dust when you and Jake roll.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good, man. He's so good.
Dude, that guy's got such a bright future ahead of him too.
I know, and he's a good kid.
Dude,
too,
that's the
man.
thing, too.
He's not
not
a
a-
kid. He's 20, but
Yeah, you know what I mean.
fuck, he
though.
seems like a kid.
Anybody
to a
that's
35-year-old.
Anybody that's 10 years younger
Yeah,
than me,
they're a kid.
like, yeah.
I'm cool with that.
But that's the thing too, is like he's not out being a little shithead,
No,
doing
man, he's
drugs,
good,
like
good,
trying to be the
good.
tough guy.
No.
Like if you were to meet Jake, you would not assume that he has a black belt in one system and a brown belt in another.
Right.
You know, he's just a nice guy. He's just cool.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's not trying to swell up or be
No,
that
man,
chippy
he's
guy.
a
Like
humble, good kid.
good
He
kid.
Come from his parents did an awesome job with him. I think if all our kids ended up like him, dude, the world
Yeah.
would be a way cooler place.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
was thinking about
Just
that.
a good kid. His parents did a good job.
Yeah,
man.
and they're still doing a good job.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
he's still young. You know, still lives at home, but shoot, man, like honestly, I told him, like, bro, as focused as you are and as many goals as you have, and the way you live your life, it's not like you need a whole lot of privacy to do shady stuff, bro.
No.
Like, stay at your parents as long as you can.
Yeah,
dude.
man. I think I have a couple little kids. You know, I hope that I do as good a job with my children as the Watsons did with theirs, because
Yeah.
they did a great job, man.
Yeah.
He's a good young man, a good good. Doesn't get much better of a person than
Yeah.
that. You know, I think that's an utmost compliment to his parents, man. They did
Yeah.
an awesome job, man.
Yeah, his parents are good peeps, man, for
Yeah.
sure. You know, and honestly, we don't really have too many dickhead parents at Andre's gym.
No, there's a couple, but there's a couple everywhere, too. You know, that's
and
how
there
it
has
goes.
and there has been in the past, but they've left. You
Yep.
know, but yeah, like we've got a pretty good crew of kids and parents and adults. Like we've got a good community at that gym.
I think so. I think we have a really good community.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
know,
no
and-
community's perfect, but
Yeah, and we got people from all walks of life.
that's
man.
what's cool about it.
Yeah, like we got cops in there.
Cops, bankers,
We got
construction workers,
yeah.
pot growers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Love it.
That was so, and everyone's friends.
I
You know, we
it's
got
so cool.
we got people in the military
Yeah.
that show up. We got people that are, man. There's
Yeah, it's cool, man.
It's just
I really
Yeah.
like that part about not just at our gym, but in our small little community. You know, the grappling, the jiu-jitsu world.
yeah,
It is all different walks of life, and we're all different shades and different colors and,
Yeah.
and different creeds and different belief systems, but we all stepped on the mat. And for whatever reason it is, we all have something in common. We all
Yeah.
set foot on the mat. I think that's neat. You know?
Well, and the thing is too is like I've met famous people who do jujitsu, and like in that moment they're not concerned about who they are. And they're not concerned about who you are. The only thing that matters is the time on the mat.
That's cool.
And where
I've
you're
never met
at.
anyone famous.
I mean, guys like Guy Ritchie Guy Ritchie's a black belt.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. And like, and I was listening to him talk, like he does gi and no gi. Like he's hardcore into it, man. He's had knee replacements and shoulder just because of jiu-jitsu.
That's
you know, like
that's
he's been seriously injured because of it.
Do this.
But and he says, like, when I go into a gym, someone will be like, "Oh yeah, you're that guy from that movie. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's fight." And that's all it is, "Oh, okay, I recognize who you are. What do you have? What do you got? Let's do this." You know, like, what do you, like, how long have you been here? Like, what have you got in your knowledge bank that you're going to try to use against me, because I'm going to try to counter it? And it doesn't matter who they are, you know? I mean, shoot, dude, like, as far as like jiu-jitsu celebrities in Arizona, like both Clayton and Jake have real bright futures.
Oh, yeah.
Will Reed does too. I mean, he's injured right now, but yeah, it's just, they're just working on the mats, bro. Like, just coming in,
doing it,
drilling, getting better, you know. And there's been times where, I mean, we can both agree that Jake is a badass, super knowledgeable, but there's been times when we've been drilling and Andre will check him in front of the whole class.
Oh,
like, no,
yeah.
This is, you did that wrong. You do it this way. And Jake is so coachable. And so it's just, it proves that you're always improving. You're always learning, you know?
I like that too.
Yeah. And it's cool watching guys that are that much better than you be humble and coachable.
Not be perfect.
Yeah, because you can be like, you know what? Like,
there's a chance I can't do this.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's like, I got no reason to take anything personal or cop an attitude, because that badass is going through the same thing.
Right.
You know, and it's just like, it really is like you think you've arrived at blue belt. Nope, sorry, those purple belts are waiting for you. Okay, well, I'm a purple belt. Nope, brown belts can't wait to get a crack at you. I'm a brown belt. Nope, the black belts. Like, okay, now I'm a black belt. Well, guess what? There are a million black belts that have more stripes than you that would be perfectly willing to show you how it works.
Welcome to the real world, kid.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the feeding frenzy.
The wolf pack.
Yeah. So, man. But just real quick, can you imagine, like, 4 years down the road, if somebody tried to break into Aurora's house?
Oh, dude,
biggest
mistake.
Dude, the biggest anybody in that family, you know, like,
dude.
Yeah, dude, like,
I want to leg lock him. No, I want to leg lock him.
You get that leg, I get this arm, you know, like, you know, talk about like getting wrapped up, you know, by a killer on each limb. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, if I ever had kids or a family, I would totally get them all into it, man.
Yeah, man, I bring my kids, you know. I think it's a really positive environment.
Yeah.
You know, and it's good, especially for the girls. You know, I hate to be biased on a, you know,
boy-girl
basis.
Let's just be real about that right now.
I think it's more realistic that a female is going to get raped than a dude. And
yeah.
If you put them to jiu-jitsu for, you know, 10 years, I think when they go to college or whatever they choose to do in life, man, I think, you know, against whoever, an untrained combatant, they're going to be fine.
Well, and let's be honest, let's just be real candid about that right now. The closed guard, like, you have your legs wrapped around someone's waist.
Sure.
Okay? That's the last place you want to be with someone who knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to grab that arm
and choke the piss out of you or whatever.
They're either going to choke you, they're going to break your arm and then choke you out, or they're going to choke you out and then break your arms. You know? But, like, if I had a daughter and I put her in even 2 years of consistent jiu-jitsu,
oh yeah,
that's a lot less worry, you know, because there's not a girl her age that's going to beat her up after that.
No, and like anything, I mean, what's the first time someone puts their hands on you, it's a shock more than anything,
right?
And you know, and you can replicate that hands-on, you know, close contact, hands-on,
getting crushed by
in
someone's
the gym
weight,
every
getting
day.
stacked,
yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
the first time you get stacked, and they're not only is your stomach and your legs on top of you and getting pushed into you, but their weight's on top of you, and they're grabbing the lapel of your gi and pulling their weight into you, and that is insane pressure. Like, it's just, and the first 5-10 times that someone stacks you hard, you're not going to know what to do. Even if you're in a controlled environment in jiu-jitsu, you're just going to be freaking out. You're trying to move. You're doing whatever you can. And when they move their feet around your feet around their head and finally let your feet go and they slam you into side mount, it's a relief. You know, like when you're getting stacked super hard, when you finally get that pressure let up, you're like, oh my gosh. You know, but you go through that for a couple years, and if someone's actually attacking you, you're going to have a cool head.
Right.
know
It's not. You're not going to
exactly
be
what to do there.
surprised. You're going to
Yeah.
be pretty much everything. Get thrown, get someone on top of you, whatever
Get
position.
choked,
Yeah.
like,
you've been through the range
Get
of
sweat dripped in
things.
your face.
Yeah.
Like
It's raining, motherfucker.
Oh, dude, that's
that's my
dude.
favorite technique.
Oh, I love doing that. Like
Nasty.
Norm the other day. He was real tight. He was in half guard, and he was real tight. And like I couldn't do anything, so I angled my head, and I nailed one right here.
You started raining on him,
and he goes like this. He goes, and I go. He looked at me, and I moved my head and got him again. He's like, "Fucking Jesse," And I got him like a couple more times, and he opened right up, and I was able
Hell
to,
yeah.
like
little sweat grosses out.
I do that to Trevor. I do that to who else do I do it to? Somebody else like, I'm gonna do that to you, and I'm like, I don't care. I'll hydrate with it. I'll drink it. I go. I'll drink it with some fire. I eat it with some fiber beads and a nice Chianti. Like
that's what I'm talking about.
Like, oh, dude. But yeah, the first time you catch someone else's sweat in your eye, ear, or mouth,
yeah.
it is.
I hate it when it gets in your ear.
Oh, you're like, or your
it's
mouth,
all cold and
your
shit.
mouth is the worst because you're like, or like your eye, it stings in your eye,
it
dude.
happens.
Like, yeah, dude, it sucks, but like I call it the waterboard, like. But yeah, dude. I mean, now in a situation where if I get stacked, it's not comfortable. But I know what's happening. I know what I can do. I know where it's leading, so I can kind of get prepared for it. Whereas
you're
before,
not surprised.
Well, you're in fight or flight before.
Yeah.
Whereas after about 10, 15 times of getting stacked hard and drilling it and having it explained to you and where it's going and what's happening, you just start to kind of calm down and be like, okay, I'm getting stacked. I can deal with this. It's going to suck for about 10 seconds and then
we're going to transition from there.
and then I can get back to work. But yeah, man, I with kids, especially girls, there is nothing let's talk about feminism for a second. There is nothing more equalizing physically than jiu-jitsu, other than having a gun in your hand.
That's pretty equalizing.
Yeah, so
I got 6 friends, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, feminism, like equality, like the girls in our gym that are out there rolling with the boys, that's feminism.
Oh yeah.
That's equality.
Yeah.
Because no guys are handing them
partner,
anything, and they're taking it from a guy that's not wanting him.
I remember the first time I grappled with a girl. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Do you remember who the girl was?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Lisa.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she got me in an
tough.
armbar.
She's badass.
Yeah,
dude. She'll fuck you up.
Yeah, she just got a blue belt. I was so proud of her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And most improved too. Like, how awesome was that, man? Like,
pretty cool.
Okay, let's talk about Lisa for a second. How cool was that? Not this last one, but the one before. That tournament where everybody started chanting her name at the end of it.
Oh, dude, it was out of
Lisa.
hand. Yeah.
People didn't even know her.
I know.
Like, there was probably...
Dude, she's a grandma, dude, and she's out there competing
against
and shit.
women 20 years younger than her.
That's cool, man.
And she's a cancer survivor.
I know.
Like, that is...
She's badass.
Like, you look death in the face, flip them off, and walk away.
Choke the fuck out of him.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck you, death.
Like, honestly, man, like, I was talking to her, and she's like, I'm so nervous about this. I go, you beat cancer. Like, what?
That's what,
like,
dude,
that's an invisible opponent that you can't see.
I chalked it up to a little bit different, not the cancer thing, but dude, you're a grandma. You've raised children. Like, what the fuck is it? What the hell is this going to do to you?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you got grown ass kids. You did something right. Your kids made it. Now you got grandkids.
And her kids,
and they're all good kids.
And her kids are killers too. The ones that train.
Yeah.
Like, Anna has a bright future ahead of her.
Good. She works hard.
What's their son's name?
JJ.
JJ. He's a little badass too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's making it happen. Yeah. And those people don't quit. Like, they don't give up. Like,
the daughter works. The son's still kind of young, But Anna, man, I've watched her drill a few times, man, and she just drills like the same exact time. There's no lightening up. There's no going faster. It's when she drills, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I watched her one day doing like an ankle pick or something, dude, and she drilled and did the ankle pick like 99.9% the exact same every time for like 5 or 6 minutes. Like, I was like, wow, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's awesome. Because then when she drops down and throws it for real, it's gonna be it's gonna be that.
Yeah, and that girl is young enough and dedicated enough to where.
Yeah, she works really hard, man.
And she's like what, like 12?
Something like that. Yeah, she's a kid, man.
Young, dude, tiny. Yeah. And honestly, like any, I don't think I've ever seen her roll with any adult men, but I've seen her roll with adult women.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And she's nothing to mess with.
No, man,
yeah,
she
like
beats up her mom all the time.
like, Yeah, she's hardcore. She's a little badass. But yeah, man, just some of those women out there, you're just so proud of them. You know, like
Yeah, they work hard, man.
well, and you know how tough it is, just to be out there doing it, man. But I was talking with Trevor. I was at Santan Flats. He's a,
Oh, is that where he works?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he-
saw him this morning.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he worked at Santan.
yeah,
Flats.
I didn't either until I saw him there one
Hey,
night. Yeah,
brother.
I was like, hey, what up, dude? You know, it's like when you see one of your jiu-jitsu
yeah.
buddies in public, you're like, what's up? And he was eating dinner because he was on his break, and his
cool.
girlfriend was there with him. And we were just giving her the hard close on jiu-jitsu, you know, like this is why you should come in. She's like, girl, I really want to defend myself, but I'm not tough at all.
Perfect.
And I was like, listen, like obviously I've only been doing this a little less than a year, so I'm not the end-all authority. But
Yeah.
I would say you could take your most gentle, amiable, cry while watching the Hallmark movies soccer mom, and if she's consistent, by the time she gets her blue belt, she will be born again hard, like killer. You know, I'm like, doesn't matter. Like,
No, you get all different kinds of walks, man.
yeah, I mean, and you know, like, it's just you work so hard for it, and there's times that like you don't think you're getting any better, you know, and then something will happen where you'll be in a good role and you'll get a move on somebody that you've never gotten before, and you beat him, and you're just like, fuck, man, like,
Yeah, that happens.
dude, I
It's
worked
like a roller
so
coaster ride.
hard for that, you know, and that's why, you know, with me, whenever I get tapped anymore or someone sweeps me, all I want to say is good job. Because there's times when I've worked so hard against somebody and I finally got a sweep on them, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, man. Like you know, like
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
It's like hitting a PR.
That's
in
the biggest,
weightlifting.
one of the biggest, you know, ways that you can progress is by opening up and maybe putting yourself out there and trying to work a spot where you suck, or
Yeah.
you know, and you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna get passed, and you're gonna get passed,
Yeah.
you're gonna get stacked, and you're gonna get stacked, but eventually you'll figure a little bit out that you
Yeah.
can do something from there, and that's what's cool, man, is when
Yeah.
you can progress from a spot you suck at,
Yeah,
like
man.
me playing off my back.
Yeah.
Man, it took a long time for me, and I still suck, but I suck less, you know?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
Dude, we are running short on time here, brother.
All right.
All right, you got any shout outs you want to do before
Nah,
we
man.
No? All right, what kind of music you listening to these days?
I don't know, whatever, dude.
Yeah, right. I don't believe you. What kind?
Just Disney soundtracks mostly.
Yeah, radio Disney.
No, man, I listen to 97.9 KUPD, man.
Okay, so you're like
Rock,
the
man, yeah,
classics like
yeah, yeah.
Tool, you know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Little grunge, little Pearl Jam in there, little
Yeah.
Soundgarden,
Something.
a little
Something
Rage.
for Rage. I could get down with some
Yeah,
Rage.
Rage Against the Machine. All right, have you heard of One Day as a Lion?
No.
That is.
Is that the walkout song Jake did at his last fight to win? Which one is that? You picked out a song.
That was Clutch.
Oh, it's Clutch.
That was
Yeah,
Clutch.
okay.
The Yeti, and that song is
Yeah,
badass.
the
that
Yeti.
song's badass.
Yeah, that song is badass.
Yeah, well, they've got so many good intros on so many songs. Like Clutch is one of my favorite bands, but One Day as a Lion is Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine, and it's the drummer from the Mars Volta, which is like a melodic rock and roll symphony full of amazingly talented, musicians.
Gotcha.
And it sounds just like gritty old school Rage.
Really?
Yeah, they've got a song called Wild International that's dope, and they've got a song called One Day as a Lion. It's the name of their band.
I'll have to check it out, man.
Yeah, they are sick. If you like old school Rage,
Yeah, man, I do.
yeah, that's good stuff right there, man. So yeah, Radio Disney, huh?
Hell yeah.
Do you listen to country?
A little bit of old stuff.
Yeah, you listen to. Have you gotten into Hank 3 yet?
No, dude, I really couldn't get down on Hank 3, man.
Well, which album did you listen to?
I don't know. It's been a minute.
Because he's got 3 different styles.
It was probably the first album
Yeah.
because it was a while back. It's been
His
a couple
first
years.
3 albums are. He hates them. They were all
Really?
super produced.
That's probably what one to
Yeah,
listen
and
to.
so now his stuff. He's got a band called Ass Jack that's hardcore punk, like the fine line between metal and punk rock.
Okay.
So that's good stuff. Because he toured with Danzig for a while as a drummer, and he toured with Arson Anthem, who was Phil Inseminio from Pantera's band, and I think he was their bass player, or it might have been those might have been reversed. So he cut his teeth in metal and punk before he ever did country.
Really?
He had a kid, sign with a label to get a paycheck.
Yeah, I get that.
That's when
That's what led to the first 3 albums.
Yeah, so he's got a style called Hellbilly, which is like a banjo with heavy distortion and like punk vocals.
That sounds interesting.
But it's just straight bluegrass, like
Really?
heavy bluegrass. Like it's a cross between bluegrass and thrash punk. And then his Hellbilly stuff is great. He's got an album called Straight to Hell that is just mwah. Like any song on that one you like.
Really?
So those are the two I would suggest getting into. And then his
I'll have
punk
to check
band
it out,
Ass
man.
Jack. So yeah, man, I think you'd vibe on some of that stuff because he's finally broke away from the label and doing stuff that he wants to do. So
Perfect.
all right, brother.
Well, hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks
man.
for coming on here. Planet Earth, thank you for tuning in. And above all, be excellent to each other.
That's right.